Good morning. I'm Letha Comstock, Secretary of the Board of Trustees of the Monte Vista Unitarian Congregation, Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Let me not forget something. Let me start out today by saying if you weren't here Friday night, you missed a wonderful, wonderful party. Food, costumes, rune reading, conversation. It was just fun. And I want to thank Robert and the community team for hosting this party. It was wonderful. Next, this is from the Green Sanctuary team. It invites all of you to make less waste and win more prizes. Starting today, every time you bring a reusable from home, a coffee cup, dishware, utensils, or a cloth napkin, you are eligible to enter the reusables raffle. Basket's back there on that back table. Fill out a raffle ticket, put your name on it. Don't take one side, you don't need to keep it. Put it in the bowl on the green table, and once a month we'll draw a winning ticket and award a prize. By bringing your own reusables, each of us can build or continue sustainable habits that will help MVUUC become a green sanctuary congregation. So now we move on. Meetings today after service, the young adult group will be meeting at 12 p.m. Ask Robert what room. The justice team meeting will be at 12 p.m. Ask Laura what room. On Tuesday is Taco Tuesday, 7 p.m. It's a Zoom meeting for talking, telling jokes, whatever they want to do. Friday is the Cups Samhain ritual, 7 p.m. It's going to be a full Samhain ritual calling our ancestors. If you'd like to come and enjoy the festivities, we welcome you. Last, Thanksgiving. Oh, potluck. Thank you, Jean. I forgot that part. Thanksgiving. After much thought and discussion, the board has decided that we will not host a Thanksgiving meal at the church this year. But if you would like to invite someone to your home, you have room, an extra room or two, invite someone. If you know someone that's homebound, provide a meal for them, whether it be takeout or you prepare it, that. Another option. If you really want a dinner at the church, talk to the community team and see if it can be worked out. That's up to you. And that is all I have today for announcements. Enjoy the service.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What a fun day. We have chosen to all be here together. The way that one other thing that I wanted to mention about Friday night, it was pretty great. I went as a goth minister. Black lipstick and all, it was pretty cool. But George says, no, you are a voodoo priestess. So I was like, whoa. But I just want to give a shout out to Bob Taylor. If anybody who went on the graveyard tour in the front of our property, boy, there's history out there and bones. It was really great. So thank you, Bob. I know you put a lot into that. It was really great. We open our service with the sounding of the bowl. For yesterday, we honor our ancestors and the founding members of this congregation. For today, for all who hold, care, and grow this beloved community that we know as our own. And for tomorrow, may we always offer warm welcome to all who come to worship with us. And now, stay seated. Put your seatbelts on and enjoy our welcoming song by the choir. You guys are great. I love it when you're here. I don't see Catherine. Catherine, if you hear my voice, maybe you can mosey up here, be with me. She's coming, I think. Catherine. Catherine, this is your ghost telling you, come to the pulpit. Our time together in worship rings within us as we live out our faith within our daily lives. And as a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame that becomes for us an image for the warmth of community at the heart of our spiritual home. And as Catherine lights our chalice, come on over. That would be great. I'm sure she's doing something super important. Yeah, it's back here. Thanks, April. You know how to do it, right? Yeah. Just barely touch it. Yeah, good. In the children's, you got to pull it out. The children's one is battery. They're not. Yeah. So let's hear the words inspired by Andrea Hawkins Camper. United by story and bound by love. We gather into this space and time as the wheel turns and the veil shatters. We gather to remember, to grieve, and to honor our loved ones as the dark season of the year rolls in. We gather now to remember the stories and sing the songs that honor our people. We gather now to celebrate that which was, that which is, and that which will be. We gather now as our custom has been, ritual done together to celebrate the lives and the love of our beloved dead, united by story and bound by love. I invite everyone to stand as we sing our invocation, our anthem, Spirit of Life. And we're touching in with that spirit side of the Spirit of Life today. The first verse is English, the second in Spanish. Invite you to join as you're comfortable reading our covenant together aloud. The words are on the screen. We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. Our search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to make choices for a healthier planet, and to live out our Unitarian, Universalist values every day as beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. Please make yourselves comfortable. It is time for our wisdom tale, a time for all ages, and we have our Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration, Robert Tidwell.
Good morning, everybody. Before I read the story today, I just wanted to say one last thing about the Halloween party, and that is that there are leftover pumpkins. So if you want to make a jack-o'-lantern or a pumpkin pie, take some of our pumpkins because they were donated by Glenn Hand, and we have about 5 or 6 of them left. So please take a pumpkin. Today's story is called 1,000 Voices, and it's by Tanya Marquez. She's a UU Reverend, and it's from our Braver, Wiser curriculum on the UUA website. Listen more often to things than to beings. A line from Spirits, a poem by Barago Ismail Diop. Every year around this time, there is a distinctive smell in the air, and the trees sway like the whisper of 1,000 voices. That's how I know that they are coming. At that point, the perpetual altar in my heart begins to take place outside of me for a few days, and it dances with joy at the thought of their coming. First, the table that will be the altar, a few boxes on top to create different levels. I begin to think about the pictures I am adding to my altar today. The beloved friend who didn't get to say goodbye, the one I loved, my grandparents, the cousin who left too soon. I allow myself to think about the ones whose pictures won't be on my altar, but that I still remember. The fragrance of marigolds fills the air. Grandfather's sun-made flower, a ray of light guiding them back, calling them home. It is a long way here. It is good to have some food and drinks ready so that they may quench their thirst, so that they may eat again and gain their strength for the way back. I love adding chocolate and drinking hot chocolate. I imagine a moment of communion that transcends the world of the living. Once the altar is ready, I behold the sight of this place of encounter. They will come and they will know that they are missed. All of the times that we spent together, all of the memories come rushing to us. Our elders told us to remember is to live again. And that's what we do when we allow ourselves to be surrounded by their presence and the stories of the times spent together. My family and I gather. We tell stories, we laugh, we also cry a little. We rejoice in their company. Their stories come alive in our telling, and so does the love that we still feel. I have learned to listen more often to things than to beings, to listen to my heart that knows a different way of knowing. My heart knows that the dead aren't really dead. Their stories are perpetually being told by the world around us, like the trees swaying, like the whisper of 1,000 voices. May we open our minds, our hearts, and our senses to a different way of knowing, the knowing of the heart that recognizes love transcendent, love everlasting, and love that never dies. Thank you. And now if the children present can come up and get our cellos, you guys can sing us to our class once Jaryus gets the words up on the screen. Thank you.
Have a great time, you guys. We'll miss you. It's so hard to not keep everybody here for special occasions like this, but we'll talk to them about it later. One of the reasons that we engage in ritual is to participate in a shared activity that we have created ourselves to bring a sense of grounding and structure. Ritual helps us feel safe enough to engage with hard things that we might otherwise push down or avoid completely. Today, we engage in a ritual that will help to embody some complex emotions around the deaths of those we love. I open this ritual to build our ancestors' altar with a poem from the prayers of Reverend Dr. Stephen Charleston. Then you will be invited to sing our gentle song, Return Again. The choir will back you up on that from our memory. I don't have the lyric on the screen. We'll just sing from our hearts. As we place the photos and the mementos that you have brought for your beloveds to be remembered on our altar that we've prepared for you. If you didn't bring anything and you still want to come forward and honor someone in your life that has crossed, we have candles in a little container over here. Please take a candle and light it, and you can place that on the altar. Reverend Charleston writes, I have been out walking with ghosts again. The shimmering images of my ancestors, always present but barely visible, walking before me in the cool shadows of the evening. I know better than to talk too much, for silence is the language of the sacred. But instead I listen, as any youngster should, to the wisdom of those who have seen more seasons than can be counted. I receive their thoughts like a benediction, and I hold their vision in my mind like a familiar dream. Please don't be afraid, they whisper, as we walk on together and find the moon is already waiting. Boy, I don't know what I was thinking when I was setting up the order of service, but the offering message right now really just doesn't fit. But here we go. Let's just pause for a minute and look at the beauty of this collection and how quickly we put this together. It's incredible. Catherine brought a lot of the beautiful things from her home, but she and I worked, we just let it flow, and look what came. It's just glorious. We're not going to want to take it down today, so you're welcome to leave your beloveds here until Halloween comes and goes, and maybe we'll leave it up for the Samhain ritual. I don't know yet. Well, think of it. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, that's on Friday at 7.
Please come if you wish. We're going to do a full Samhain ritual with honoring our ancestors, and it's different than this one. And so if you wish to come, bring or leave through here, and we will incorporate this altar in our
Yeah, there's a lot of our spirit in there. 7 o'clock on Friday. Everyone's welcome. But our offering message today does open with these words from Reverend Ellen Johnson Fay, who writes in reading number 675 in our hymnal that the offering is a sacrament of the free church, supported by the voluntary generosity of all who join with us. And as the generous caretakers of this community, we find ourselves traveling exceptionally bumpy roads right now. But yet, as the winds continue to shift and we bank every curve with greater and greater skill, we continue to give from our hearts in many ways. So thank you, each of you, for your kind and generous gifts that maintain our community's physical and spiritual well-being. We are all givers in so many aspects of our church life together. All that we do and our care for each other is an offering toward wholeness. And here at the Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist congregation, we have agreed to donate 50% of the offerings that we gather that are not earmarked as pledges with a charity that aligns with our values and serves those in the Montclair area. Each recipient is pre-selected by the justice team and then approved by the board. For the month of October, and today will be our last collection for this organization, we are sharing our plate with NAMI. And NAMI is an acronym for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. The local chapter's website is shared in your order of service, but it is always with the deepest of gratitude for the many gifts of this community that the offering will now be given and received in a spirit of fellowship. So as we are fortunate to soak in Lily's beautiful offertory, I think, maybe she has something scary planned, I'm not sure. I invite those who are in the sanctuary to please come forward and leave your generous offerings. We have moved the offering basket for today because we didn't want to put that on the ofrenda. It didn't seem right. So we've put it on the table over there, but your lines can form in the same way, if you would. Lily? Was that Oscar? Yeah, it was Oscar. Thank you, Oscar. Yeah. Was that Lorraine? No, she's being a good girl. Wasn't Sophie? I love it. In our community, we choose to share both the shine and the shadow in our lives each week. And doing so often calls us to shrug our shoulders at the ways that we see both the joy and the sorrow in the events that come into our days. Sometimes we welcome them, and other times we dread their knock on the door. And this week, I came across a similar teaching by Khalil Gibran from the Prophet that spoke to this lens for viewing our celebrations and our need for compassion. Of course, what did I do with it? It says in my notes, read from the Prophet. Okay, let me get it. Sorry. It's been a little hectic, fun, crazy day today. So Khalil Gibran says, some of you say joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, nay, sorrow is the greater. But I say unto you, they are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at your table, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. Verily, you are suspended like scales between your sorrow and your joy. Only when you're empty are you at a standstill and balanced. And we are certainly not a people who seek to be empty or in perfect balance. Jimmy, I'm sorry. You'll need to reopen your phone. Waited too long, I guess. Sorry. I think our druthers are to be full of life and all that it holds. And we find our best sea legs riding with that imbalance that life unfolds for each of us. So we have a few from the world. I have one that was in the basket. Jimmy has one on his phone. But can we just take a minute and say, OMG, Freddie Freeman? Yeah. All the Dodger fans here, no one has a jersey on though, that's okay. I do see a lot of blue clothes, so that's good. Yeah, that was just incredible. And that was right after our great party, so Friday was like this special day. Here's some more joy. Jimmy says, on Friday, I was with my dad at Redlands Community Hospital. My grandma, Mary Perdue, was having a knee replacement surgery. And my dad and I had a heart talk while we're waiting for grandma to get out of surgery. He told me that he gave up alcohol and he became my grandma's, his mom's caregiver. That's beautiful. I know. That's beautiful, Jimmy. Thanks for sharing it with us. We'll keep him in our prayers so that he can stay strong. That's a hard thing. I have one from Betsy too. Betsy Pettit asks us, please help me keep my youngest sister, Lauren, in my heart. She died quietly and gently in her sleep on October 23rd. Please think of her with kindness. We will. Can I put this on the wall too? Can I put this on? Okay. Karen, Lane, and I were having a conversation because I remembered that the anniversary of the school shooting in Lewiston, Maine, that is her hometown, the anniversary was Friday, October 25th. So there's the heavy side of what we experienced on Friday. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It took the lives of 18 people. And then Karen also told me, she sent this message: the bowling alley where most of the deaths occurred has been leased by a nonprofit for conversion into a free community resource center, food pantry, and emergency warming shelter. In the words of one of my Lewiston friends involved in the effort, we wanted to do something to show our respect for all the lives that were lost that day. New resources at this facility will provide to our most vulnerable community members and will save lives for years to come. Yeah, may it be so. Thank you, Karen. A quick note before we begin today's meditation: my words will guide you to bring to mind those that you love and respect who may have passed on from this life. So it may not be suitable for everyone, so please be gentle with yourself, knowing that I ask you only to participate as you feel safe and comfortable. It's really important. And maybe have a tissue close in hand. Today we celebrate many holidays and festivals from around the earth that focus on death and the veil of separation between those of us who are living and those who have died, those who have gone before us. The season of All Hallows Eve, or the Feast of All Souls, or Samhain, is a time to embody love and respect. The love and respect that we feel for our family members and the ancestors who are no longer embodied here among us. We seek to learn from their path in order to create our own. So if you need to, just let go of my guidance and follow other thoughts, knowing you can come back in when you feel ready. You can do this practice with your eyes open or let your eyelids fall gently closed. Relax your shoulders, maybe change the position of your legs, keep your feet flat on the floor, and let the muscles in your face just relax. Maybe your jaw is clenched, try to relax it. And let's take a few deep breaths in through our nose, out through the mouth. And imagine yourself in a place that feels nourishing for you. Maybe it's deep in the forest, at the beach, or in a log cabin with a roaring fire. But visualize the support of the earth underneath you. Connect to the vast wisdom of Mother Nature and let her gravity hold you close. Feel her energy through your body as you inhale and exhale. Think about who you are and where you are in this moment. And remember that every part of you has been woven together by the fabric of our ancestors. Their joy, their wounds, their strength, their blood, their DNA. They live within you. Begin to visualize members of your family. Any person who comes to mind has inner wisdom, even if you have not met them. But visualize them with you. And as you inhale, breathe in their wisdom. And as you exhale, breathe out your gratitude. We'll do 4 breaths. Inhaling wisdom. Exhaling gratitude. Wisdom. Gratitude. Wisdom. Gratitude. Asking if this beloved one has anything that they need to share with you. Maybe a story, a song, or some words. But just listen. Inhale wisdom. And exhale, gratitude. Go back and repeat if you have more spirits you'd like wisdom from. Maybe someone else in your family line. Someone that you feel has inner wisdom that you long for them to share with you. You're not touching each other, but you're still connected. And as you inhale, you breathe in their wisdom, and we exhale our gratitude. And whatever way that they have to say and notice how you feel in your body is important to them. And allow any messages to come to you in the form of images, sounds, or it could even be a feeling or a smell. It's very common to have a sensation of wanting to cry. It's an expression of the love that we're allowing in, and it's okay and good. So we'll just sit in silence for a minute or so, allowing those to come through. But don't forget to breathe at a comfortable pace. And we're going to end this meditation by repeating a few simple phrases in just a moment. We say thank you. Please speak it as you're comfortable. Thank you. Thank you. We thank all who have helped to shape and create us. Thank you. Thank you. We honor your divine wisdom. We take a deep breath in. And welcome yourself now, as you're ready. As you exhale, come back into this room. And enjoy the choir.
Once, upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember. It was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token. And the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, Lenore. Merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, and there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but, with the mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door. Perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. Perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what the lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marveled, this ungainly fowl, to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press. Ah, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee. By these angels he hath sent thee. Respite, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me, truly, I implore. Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore. Tell this soul with sorrow laden if within the distant Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie that soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out of my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him, streaming, throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
We never had a problem with ghosts before. Boo!
I think it should be Halloween every week. One of the most famous lines from the classic holiday movie, It's a Wonderful Life, is subtle, but it can be read on a sign that hangs in the building in Lone under a picture of George Bailey's father, Peter, whom it quotes. The sign reads, "All you can take with you is that which you have given away." Knowing that many of us are holding numerous levels of grief in these tender times, and as our days grow naturally darker, until we mess it up next Sunday as we return to daylight savings time, don't forget. But as friends and spiritual companions of one another, we hold a space open that allows today's level of grief to influence our mood. We hold a space open to first, before any other holiday celebration, to mark the time with an honor of our beloved dead. But what does that even mean, to honor our dead? And how can we bring ourselves into this tradition and allow it to make meaning in our lives? Is it just about remembering them and speaking their names? to place an image on the particular altar of our culture and then be done? If we're early in our loss and our thoughts are centered more on what death has taken than what we are able to consider that is there in comfort that we can take, and that love that we can still exchange. It is an important part of our grief journey to allow that loss and that death in, to feel the ways that our hearts are responding to the loss that we're experiencing. Yet Peter Bailey's words hold great value in its reminder that it is the love that we have given away and shared with our beloved dead that is our own takeaway. Because we have given love, we also take love with us as we continue walking here without them and somehow beside them. It is love and connection that gives our relationships the untouchable and irreversible meaning that doesn't die. And that is the core of love's capacity to be stronger than death. Because death isn't able to take our connection to our loved ones away. And maybe it isn't meant to. Love allows us to continue to grow in our relationship with those who have died. You may have heard it said that grief is love with nowhere to go. Maybe so. But we send it and receive it in indescribable ways. Death pulls them apart, and love brings them back. The tug of war is hard on our hearts, and as the days pass and their absence becomes less painful, their presence is easier for us to welcome. We reach through the veil without the intense pain that we once felt. That song that we heard can bring us a smile instead of us having to quickly shut the music off. The smell of their favorite muffins baking draws us to buy one, rather than running out of the bakery crying. That chat that we have with them seems to be more of a two-way conversation, not just our imagination clutching for connection, because love is stronger than death. And while we're not offering any one specific teaching on the soul after death, let's remember that in our community, we offer respect for the beliefs that others hold as true and have no urgency to set anyone straight about the truth that they hold, as long as they're not harmful to themselves or others. But the conversations around death can truly be very tender. So may we always be gentle and curious with the way that we receive another's belief on that topic and out of their suffering. As this week unfolds into the celebrations of the spirit world in schoolyards and in our neighborhoods and in Mexican and Catholic culture, and we see Halloween festivities popping up everywhere we look, even in your church, may we look with wonder on our culture that is usually more than a bit death-phobic, except at this season. And as our celebration today resonates in our souls into the days ahead, may we all continue to breathe a little bit deeper. Breathe in that wisdom and exhale that gratitude. Release old paradigms that instilled a fear of death in us. And may we welcome the comfort of knowing that love is always stronger than death. Blessed be. I invite everyone to stand as we sing our sending song. It's Touch the Earth and Reach the Sky. We'll sing all 5 verses.
Children
And let's share in our unison benediction as we bless each other, as we close our time together and extinguish our chalice flame. May the night's light shine through us to strengthen us for the way ahead. May our lives serve as the light in this world that we care so much about. Please be seated as we enjoy Lily's postlude. Beautiful, thank you. In the choir, can we just say, thank you so much. Yeah, so my closing words to you, the witching hour's upon us. We share blessings with our pals. Blessed be the ancestors, ghosts and fairies cross the veil. Blessed be to you and yours, may the season fill your heart. Let's keep love at our center when we're here and as we part. Happy Halloween.